Hello everyone, I'm Ankit and you're watching StudyIQ IS English. In our today's video, we'll cover a very sensitive topic about Northeast India. So my brothers and sisters from Northeast who are watching this video is dedicated to you guys. Now the reason why we have picked up this particular topic for our today's discussion is because Union Ministry of Home Affairs has recently directed two cities in National Capital Region, that is in Noida and Ghaziabad, to appoint nodal officers. And what these nodal officers will do, they will address discrimination and racial issues which are faced by people from Northeast India in different parts of the country. Now, Delhi and Gurgaon already have these such nodal officers appointed to deal with such matters, and therefore this nodal officers will also be in place in two more cities in the NCR. Now, this problem of the racial discrimination that the people of Northeast face in different parts of the country, it is much more prominent in the capital region of the country. And that is why addressing this properly needs to be done at the earliest possible time. Now, the notes which I will be using in our today's session, in case if you want to download them, you can go to this particular Telegram channel called as ATS Live. And while you're at it, please do not forget to subscribe to the channel also. Okay, so let us first understand what is the meaning of racism. Now, racism can be anything. It can be an everyday behavior of ours which can be very subtle or very explicit in that matter. It can be an expression of prejudice, stereotype and bias which is often directed towards people belonging to a particular race or an ethnic group. Now, you might think this is a kind of a joke you are passing, or you are making an offhand comment. Or more and so, you think that you have posted something very humorous on social media, thinking of it that it is a harmless remark you have made. But you never know that this harmless remark of yours in your mind can be a behavior that is normalizing inequality, that is normalizing differentiation among people, and it is also demeaning certain specific groups. So that is what a racism is. Now, many people would come to this video denying straight away the fact that people from the Northeast are not subjected to any discrimination presently. But let me tell you, this kind of a notion is very incorrect, because I have a data to back this kind of an argument I am making. The data I have sourced it from National Crimes Record Bureau, which says that any racism that happens in India, it violates your constitutional guarantee of inequality. How? First of all, you might have heard there was a killing of a Northeast girl, Nida Tanya, back in 2014. So this is not an event of a past, because a killing of a person, Angel Chakma, happened last year itself in 2025. So what does it show you? It shows that persistent casual racism against people from the Northeast is still prevalent in different parts of the country. And this brings my attention to understand why are people in India so racist towards people from the Northeast. So let us understand the reasons behind it. Am I trying to justify it? Obviously not. I'm trying to identify the reasons. Now, the first reason that comes to my mind is historical invisibility. Now, if you have read or if you have gotten your education through CBSE, I'm sure you must have read NCRTs, right? But while reading the NCRTs, you might have come across many famous emperors before them, right? For example, you might have heard about Mughal Sultanate, you might have heard about Delhi Sultanate, Gupta Empire, Mauryan Empire, so and so, right? But did you hear about Ahom dynasty in NCRTs? If you listen to music, I'm sure you are aware of who Kishore Kumar and Mohammad Rafi was. But how many of you people have actually heard of song of Dr. Bhupen Hazarika? Not many people, right? So what does it tell you? That many important historical events, many important historical figures in the past, like Rani Ganeldu, who was from Nagaland, you don't know anything about them. And what is creating this ignorance? It is the lack of depth of our school curriculum. Now, whenever people have lack of awareness about that issue, what it fosters ignorance in your mind. And in cases of ignorance, you have nothing but to rely on stereotypes that you may have heard about something. So this lack of ignorance promotes what? Familiarity. It promotes what? It promotes you to indulge in behaviors that are called as racism. So this is first factor. Now let us understand many other factors as well. Now, second factor is what I call a phenotypic stereotyping. What is a phenotype? Phenotype is basically behavior, facial features that you exhibit if you belong to a particular race. Now, people of the Northeast, they have different physical features as compared to people from the rest of the country, because they have Mongoloid features. Now, is it necessary for an Indian to have a specific feature? Is that defined anywhere? Obviously not. So what makes a person North Indian a similar Indian can be belonging or having a very different physical features, right? So if you're a Mongoloid or if you have Mongoloid features, does it make you any less Indian? Obviously not. But this people don't know. People think that if a person exhibits Mongoloid feature, they might be foreign. And to add insult to the injury, people even disparage and pass comments to Northeastern people, calling them Chinese, calling them chinky. Sorry for using this word, but I needed to use this word to highlight you what kind of problems do people from Northeast actually face. Similarly, let us consider what are the stereotypes it kinds of forbids. Now, people in the Northeast, they have different food style, they have different food types, their attires are different. Personally, I feel in Delhi, looking at people from Northeast, they are the best dressed among the Indian people. Whatever they wear, it's spot free, it fits well, it looks well. And I don't think so any other kind of a people from different parts of the country are that well dressed. Now, the consequence of this kind of a different dressing, different facial features that Northeastern people have, other people from the rest of the country, they are not aware of this. And they often try to associate these behaviors with sexualization, with dehumanization. So this is another cause of racism that people from Northeast are every time subjected to. Let us consider other examples. Now, there is a common trend that I have noticed, please let me know if I am incorrect in that people from the Northeast, if they live in different parts of the country, they are majorly employed in hospitality and retail sector. Now, when you are employed in such retail sectors and hospitality sectors, your interaction with general public is higher as compared to a person who is employed in a particular software company, right? Because if you work in a software company, you nationally or naturally only interact with your colleagues. But when you work in such public facing industries, your interactions with public in your day-to-day life is much higher than a normal people, and therefore it makes people from Northeast more vulnerable, more susceptible to such kind of racial behaviors. So if somebody passes a comment, somebody passes a joke thinking of it as a harmless, but you don't know when it is going to racially abuse a person from the Northeast. So what this kind of a behavior does, it normalizes disrespect, it lowers the threshold of a society of what they think is appropriate behavior and what is an inappropriate behavior. And to add insult to this injury, when people from the Northeast, they go to police, they go to administration complaining about these kind of racism, their complaints are dismissed, thinking of it, making them believe this is just a joke. They are not trying to racially disparage them. And therefore, this lack of recognition of hate crime, it weakens the deterrence, it weakens or it does not try to deny people from indulging in such acts, and therefore people from the Northeast, they have lost trust in the system because system hasn't come in their defense. So these are all the problems that has led to racism, right? Now let us understand what are the impact of racism in the hearts and minds of the people of the Northeast. First of all, let us imagine if you are a citizen of this country, but somebody else makes you believe, somebody else makes you think that you are an outsider. How would you feel? Not just that it will violate your constitutional and fundamental rights, but it will also emotionally alienate you from the mainstream. So to protect yourself, what would you do? You would start living in a locality where people from your area only lives. And what is this called? This is called as ghettoization. So is this ghettoization or is this social fragmentation natural? No. You are permitting this fragmentation because you are racially abusing people from the Northeast. And what it does, it actually reduces the multicultural interactions which happens in the society. Now to remove this problem, what do you need? You need people from different parts of the country to live together to interact more. But because of your behavior, people of the Northeast are forced to live alone and forced to live among themselves, and this actually adds to the problem. Not just this, this is also a threat to national cohesion. Now, when does a society unite? When people actually love each other, people actually like each other, and people actually interact with each other. And right? And what is the role of state institutions in it? State institutions should protect the people. But when state institutions are unable to address the issues that the people of Northeast are facing, in their mind, they will get a distrust towards these institutions. And this, in a way, would disparage the notion of society. It would disparage the notion of national security. So these are the broader societal impacts of how racism affects each and every moral and societal fabric of your society. Now, let us understand how can we deal with this problem. Now, after the death of Nido Tanya back in 2015, Ministry of Home Affairs set up a committee under the chairmanship of former IAS officer of Assam, Mr. MP Bezbarua. So he gave certain recommendations for the same, how to deal and do away with such matters of racism. So let us understand what are the important measures he has highlighted. Now, first were a set of legislative measures. At that time, India's criminal law was Indian Penal Code. Now it is Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita. So the Base Barua committee actually recommended that we need to amend our criminal laws in order to criminalize gestures, comments or actions which are meant to insult or intimidate a person based on their specific racial group, and this can be used in order to protect the people and to actually solidify our laws in order to protect the people. Similarly, there can be some police initiatives that can be taken. For example, there is a Spooner, which is special police unit for northeastern region, which can be established in major cities to handle issues through special recruitment, and nodal officers can be appointed to deal with such matters so as to permit immediate FIR registration for any hate crime against the people of Northeast. And the action taken by the Supreme Court and the Ministry of Home Affairs is actually in line with this recommendation of the Base Barua committee also. Similarly, there are other recommendations. One of them is social and legal support. Now, suppose if any northeastern person unfortunately faces a hate crime. So, to approach the court, approach the law authorities, you need a legal officer or a lawyer. So what the government wants to do, it wants to set up a panel of specialized lawyers to handle such specific cases, and more importantly 50% of lawyers should be women, which will specially cater to victims from the northeastern states. And to permit or to get help immediately, there will be introduction and setup of helpline, dedicated helpline through Facebooks and WhatsApp group, which will help in better communication and security for the people. Additionally, educational and cultural sensitivity should be taken place at the earliest. What was the reason behind racial discrimination? Was ignorance about the art and culture of the Northeast. So we can put lessons in our history, geography and cultural textbooks, particularly from NCERT and CBSE curriculum, so that more and more people get aware about the Northeast, and this would help remove at least some of the misconceptions that have bred in their mind, right? Similarly, what we can do is construct infrastructure and add to the security measures. For that, we can improve hostel accommodations that should be provided in major metro cities in India for northeastern people, specifically women, and we can also establish relief fund for helping victims who are facing hate crime, giving compensation to the family members of the victim, and even providing them with fare so that they can travel from their homes to the different parts of the country wherever their cases are being heard. Also, social inclusion is very necessary, and for that we can use mediums like sport, media to create tools which will allow people to get more knowledge. It will breed a sense of harmony and promote a sense of understanding about the broader culture of what is Northeast. First of all, many people don't even have an idea of how many states are there in Northeast, and if I give them the map of Northeast, they won't be able to point the same which state is where. So this kind of a ignorance is why, because of the lack of curriculum. So we can bridge this deficit and hopefully hope that people become less racially discriminatory, and that should promote a sense of social harmony among the different parts of the country, right? Do you agree with this analysis, or there are some more points that you can highlight? Please use this video to let me know in the comment section. What do you feel about it? What are the points I might have missed? Because I want to use this video as a medium of communication to the broader public. They know that they are doing, or their behavior towards the people of Northeast are incorrect, and they should mend at the earliest. Right now, before we move forward, there's an important announcement. Right now, we are offering 60% discount in addition to double validity on all the courses. If you are serious about UPSC preparation and people from Northeast, you should be, because you can only change the system if you are a part of it. And if you become an IAS or IPS officer, you can directly deal with such sensitive matters, and you'll be in a best position to actually reduce this problem that our society is plagued with. Okay, if you want to take admission, if you use this code ATS Live before making the payment, you will get maximum discounts. And before ending this discussion, since this is an educational platform, please try to solve this question. This is a kind of question that are often asked in the UPSC exam, and if you get it correctly, you know you'll be in the right path, right? And to download the notes, you can go to this particular Telegram channel called as ATS Live, and while you're at it, do not forget to subscribe to the channel also. Okay, so this is all from my side. Please do let me know what do you feel about this video in the comments. Have I missed out on any important point? Please feel free to let me know that also. Okay, so this is all from my side. I hope I've addressed your concerns well. See you again very soon. Please have a very good night.